Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Happy October, happy Libra season. So I just wanted to pop on here very quickly and let you know I'm going to be discontinuing my private reading services as of the middle of October, just simply because of some changes and things that I have going on my end of things. So if you wanted to get a session, and I'm only going to be offering Zoom 60-minute Zoom sessions. I know in the past I had pre-recorded sessions, but I won't be doing that now. We'll only do Zoom sessions. So if you want to book something, now is the time to do it. It's a perfect time anyway, because we're coming up on the new year. Believe it or not, we're finishing up 2025 and we're going to be focusing on the upcoming year. So if you want a year ahead overview for 2026, we can certainly do that. Or we can use the time however you want with any topic that's on your mind. So now would be the time to get that on the books. I won't have it open past October 15th. So that will be the cutoff date. And that will be it. So if you get it on the books now, you'll be in. If not, I won't be opening it up for anyone else after that point. Okay? All right, so let's go ahead and get into your monthly reading for October. Hello Aquarius, and welcome to your October 2025 tarot card reading. Let's go ahead and dive right in here, see what comes through for you starting October 2025. For Aquarius, we have Death, Five of Swords, Hierophant, okay, the word that I'm hearing very strongly as I look at these is the word composure, right? Maintaining your composure. And it might be because of events that are happening around you. It might be because of your own mind. It might be because of, other people. I just am so heavily drawn to this Hierophant, but we'll get to that in just a minute. Let's start with the beginning of the reading, which is the Death card. Okay, so Aquarius, I talked about this last month, but I feel like I have to reiterate, okay? In your sign, we have Pluto. And Pluto is now officially what's called out of bounds, meaning he has a much more exaggerated energy than he normally does. And he will be out of bounds, in and out, not constantly, but in and out for the next 10 years. And this first out of bounds phase really is demanding a lot of this scorpionic death, elimination, destruction, transformation kind of energy, right? So this may take shape in a myriad of different ways. It might be that, yes, things are officially ending for good. It might be that you really need to do a full overhaul or completely reinvent something. And I think a lot of this has a lot to do with our identities as well, because of the Saturn-Neptune conjunction that's still going on. A way of life could certainly be phasing out. A relationship, or relationships, plural, a career path could certainly be shifting. But whatever the case is, this is a really prominent theme, and it will continue to be so. We also want to keep in mind that not only is Pluto out of bounds, but Mars is also in Scorpio, which is 10th house activation for you. And then later on in the month, the sun will come into Scorpio too. So scorpionic themes all around, okay? If you are dealing with something difficult or a difficult person, this is likely to come to the surface now, okay? When we see the Five of Swords, sometimes it feels like an empty win, right? Like you can win, you can conquer, you can be victorious, but there's really not a lot of fulfillment there. And I want you to think about certain relationships that you may have, or certain career paths, or certain efforts, or whatever that you've been putting a lot into. And it's not to say that you've been unsuccessful, but maybe that fulfillment just isn't there. And maybe it's time to let something go with this death card. Either that or something massively needs to change. If you're dealing with other people with this Five of Swords, it's really hard to get someone else to evolve, right? It's really hard to get someone else to look within themselves, to introspect, and to have those little light bulb moments, those awakening moments. It's not something that you can just be like, hey, buddy, go do this, right? That doesn't really work all that well. People have to be called on that path, and they have to be willing to listen, and it's a very personal journey. And if you're dealing with someone that you are just like, man, I just wish that they could just change a little bit, or they could grow, or they could see it, or they could change their perspective or whatever, and they're not, Aquarius, I think you have to kind of just walk away, and you're going to have to really contend with that fact. But see, the word composure, right, was the first word that I mentioned with this Hierophant card. And again, it's like, it doesn't really matter what needs to be done. It doesn't matter that you need to walk away, or you need to end or transform something. It doesn't matter if someone else is behaving this way. What matters is, do you remain seated or centered in that seat of the soul? Do you stay composed, gracious, diplomatic, compassionate, yet also justice-oriented? Do you maintain those boundaries? Do you stay strong? Okay? This says a lot about your character. This says a lot about who you are. A lot of people struggle with Hierophant energy, I think, because it really calls you to the highest order of integrity, the highest order of love, the highest order of trust. And people struggle with that, but I think that's what this death card is guiding you toward. This is the point of this death concept, is that things need to die off, things need to be eliminated, things need to be destroyed, so that you can walk through that fire with your head held high and your shoulders back, being proud of how you handle things, how you communicate, how you stand up for yourself, how you evolve, and never look back. And even with the Four of Swords, it says, hey, Aquarius, like, you can have peace of mind. And I think through, as October we ease into October, the first couple weeks of October, I think there's a lot that you could get very stressed about. There's a lot you could get all worked up into a tizzy about. You could get angry about. You could whatever. But you don't. Again, because of this composure. Because you are holding yourself in a state of grace and in connection with the most benevolent divine. I think you're going to see a difference between how you behave in light of certain events versus how other people behave in light of the same events or the same types of events. Because I have a feeling that you might be facing something that a lot of people would be really stressed out about, or really angry, or they'd be very triggered, or, they'd have to work through their traumas or whatever. But I just don't think Aquarius has to do that. I think this transition is graceful. I think this transition, and it could, again, I have no doubt that it could be more challenging than that. But I just don't think you let it. And I don't think you let any challenges really bog you down. I think right now you are putting a lot of trust and faith in yourself, which is why you're not really worried what other people are doing and what other people are saying and how other people are reacting. It doesn't matter. And it's not that you don't care, and it's not that you don't have compassion for them, but it just doesn't matter. And Seven of Swords, Five of Swords, Seven of Swords, whenever these cards come out, you either are having thoughts that come into your mind that are self-sabotaging or whatnot, but even the Hierophant, I feel like he can just really squash those. Or there are other people that just are squirming. It's like, that's the energy I'm getting. It's like a squirm. It's like they're being held to a higher order. They're being held to a higher truth. And Aquarius, I think you are the representative of that higher truth, as Aquarius often is, right? And not to, oh, I'm sorry, my cat's kind of chewing on my, I have a little Velcro thing on my cord, and sometimes I like to play with it. But, this is, I think, a part of the Aquarian nature, is that it is, it's Saturn ruled. I know it's Uranian ruled as well. But from a Saturn standpoint, it kind of is idyllic. It has that idealism quality with it, meaning like, look at how well we could live. Look at how well we could perform. Look at how high we could hold ourselves. Look at how much respect we could have, right? It's that higher order of everything. And it's the mirror and the reflection of like, but it's not that way. And so I think people don't like that about the Aquarian reflection very much, because it's like so clear and so obvious that it could be better and it could be improved, but they themselves cannot reach that point because they're either not ready, or they don't know how, or they have shortcomings, or they're not educated enough, or whatever. And so people really do not like that reflection. But regardless, you are still going to hold up that reflection. There is no doubt about that. And I think for you, with your life, I think your life is still on track, and you are doing what you need to do. To be honest, like, I don't think this 5 of Swords or 7 of Swords relates to you at all. I think it's around you, and I think you see people in that state of mind. I just really don't think it's you. I think you say, okay, something needs to change. It needs to evolve. It needs to die off, whatever. And I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm tired of giving my all into something that's not fulfilling and where there's no winning. So I'm going to realign or align more deeply with what I know to be true. And I'm going to hold myself there. I'm going to stay centered. And I'm going to let everyone else squirm as they see that now I'm this unbending force. And this is one of the things about a fixed sign that, again, is difficult, is they can be unbending. And when they are unbending and holding up the mirror, or unrelenting in holding up that reflection, people don't like it. So again, I just see activity around you, but I just don't know that it's necessarily toward you or involves you, but it is around you. Okay, let's see what else comes through for you, Aquarius. What else? What else do you need to know as you move forward through October? See, I just think that you're in a position where you now have to make the best decisions for yourself. And because you are naturally aligned with this higher truth, you know what it is, you know what it needs, you know what needs to be done, and you proceed. And October is the month that Aquarius proceeds. Now, with the 2 of Cups, it does tell me that there is someone in your life, a significant other, a spouse, a business partner, a confidant, a best friend, a child, whatever, that you can share pretty much anything with. And what I love about them is that they're not afraid of this mirror at all. And they can stand tall with you. And they can provide feedback and criticism, constructive criticism and ideas, and they can collaborate with you. And they are a space where it is safe for you to open your heart and express what you really think and what you really feel. You can tell this person what you want, where you're going, and they're going to be like, great. And keep in mind, this is not an echo chamber. This is not just a yes person. It's not someone who's just going to say yes just to appease your ego. This is not what a 2 of Cups person does. They interact with you from a space of true and absolute love. And they don't want to tell you anything that isn't true or to support any kind of delusions or anything like that. They will keep you grounded, but also keep you supported. And I think you're going to need that kind of relationship, because it is clear that October, you are going to experience a pretty significant shift. Now, you may do this on purpose, this tower, or you may just be surprised by it. Either way, something is coming crashing down, and it's coming down because you have embraced this death, transformation, elimination, destruction process. You've already embraced it, and I would suspect that coming into October, you already know what that is, because I have a feeling this really is a carryover from September. So your mind is already aligned. You've already put forth the manifestation. And I think this tower is saying, all right, well, get ready, because that manifestation is coming. And it is here with this Ace of Coins by the end of the month, I would imagine, or early November at the latest. But the tower comes crashing down. The tower destabilizes things around you, pulls the rug out maybe from other people. I just don't think it's you, because with the Hierophant and the Four of Swords, it feels like Aquarius is in a really calm place. And like I say, you could get worked up. You could be stressed. You could get argumentative. You could allow yourself to get triggered. I just don't think you do. I think you take a step back, Four of Swords. You process it in your mind. You process it in your heart. And I think you accept things very quickly. You accept them. And, you know, this is, I mean, most of October, we are in Libra season. You know, the sun is in Libra. There's a lot of adjustments to be had. On the 13th, Venus moves into Libra as well. And when Venus comes into rulership, she is the strongest planet in the chart pretty much the whole time that she's in there. So we've had tons and tons of Libran activity. First it was Mars coming through in August, and then it was August and September, and then it was the sun coming through October, and now Venus kind of coming up at the very end, tailing everything and bringing everything into closure and completion and finalization. It's the final act of balancing the scales. We've gone through lots and lots of adjustment. There's been lots of confrontation. There's been lots of arrangements and negotiations and a lot of things. But when Venus comes in on the 13th, she says, okay, it's done. These scales are balanced, and now we are in a place that is stable enough, right? Because as we enter Scorpio season, we have this Four of Wands, and it says you are in good standing. You are solid. You are a force that can now be reckoned with. You've gone through the tumult, or you've gone through the upheaval. You've gone through that process, and you've withstood the effects of those changes. Because I cannot see Aquarius reacting all that much to the stuff going around them. I just cannot see it. If calm, cool, and collected, I mean, that seems like that's you personified. You are calm, cool, collected, personified. Truly. And it's just because you're in this Hierophant space. You're rooted in the seat of the soul. You're rooted in the divine benevolent. Or the benevolent divine. I'm mixing up my words today, I'm sorry. And when you are rooted in the benevolent divine, God, Spirit, when you are rooted in that essence, what could shake you? What could pull you down off your throne? I don't know. I don't think anything could. And I think you feel that. You can feel it. You can sense it. And the amount of self-trust that the Hierophant has is unparalleled. So, no matter what happens, you know you always have you. And because you allow these things to happen, and you allow the tower to come crashing down, and you step back and watch it and say, wow, how beautiful that is. Ace of Coins, here's the new opportunity that will immediately come in to fill this void. One thing ends, another thing opens. That's how life works. And you know that in your heart. You know that because that's the natural law. It's the natural order of things. And with every death, there must be a rebirth, clearly. And I think more than anything, you have faith in that. Every end begets a beginning. And here is your beginning. And Scorpio season will oddly feel like a beginning. Now, Scorpio season, we want to keep in mind, yes, it is a season of death and, all the things. But death is opposite of life, right? As Taurus is opposite of Scorpio. So as much as things are dying off, there are just as many things being birthed. Because the shadow side of Scorpio is actually Taurus. And we can't escape life, and we can't escape the cycle of life. And I think you'll see that. You'll see that strongly, obviously. Okay? All right, let's pull out a couple of oracle cards and finish all of this up for you, Aquarius. What is it that you need to know for October? It's time to release negativity. Full moon in Scorpio, and we have that first scorpionic card. It's just plutonic stuff. It's just Mars in Scorpio. It's Pluto in your sign. It's Pluto out of bounds. We're just going to have a lot of these themes. So it's time to release negativity. Clearly, we got a little bit around you here. So we release that. And then with the animal spirit, we have time for a beginner mind, which is beautiful because you are running smack into a wall of beginnings right here. And I think the more humble you are, and that's the thing with the Hierophant, is we could look at him and think, oh, he's so arrogant. But he actually, because he understands his role as a channel or a vessel for the divine through which to work, there is an extraordinary humility that comes through with that Hierophant, right? Understanding that the power isn't yours, that the miracles, they're not yours, but they are channeled through something more divine. Well, not more divine, but something very high, right? Some through source. So humbled that we are in the image, right? Humbled that we are able to be used as a vessel. So the humility is huge, and I do see that. I don't see arrogance here coming from Aquarius at all. I think arrogance is more so coming from other people, okay? Now let's see what comes through with the clarifier. So for those of you who are new, we are going to do a whole bunch of clarifying cards and really open up every single one of these to extract as much detail as we possibly can. So if you want to join, the link will be in the description box and the comment thread down below. So let's see for the Death card, what does Aquarius need to know here? We have the Seven of Cups, Four of Wands, and Judgment. I love Judgment this month too. Ace of Coins, Tower, Hanged Man. Now for this Hierophant. Ooh, with the High Priestess even. King of Wands and Six of Wands. Beautiful. We have the, what was that card? Oh, Four of Swords, sorry. Four of Swords with Knight of Wands, the Magician, Two of Swords. We have the Empress, Seven of Coins, Five of Cups, Six of Swords, Four of Coins, Ten of Cups. For this Tower, beautiful Ace of Swords. I love that. Ace of Swords and Judgment have been coming out a lot this month. Four of Cups and another Hierophant. I love that. We have the Ace of Cups. Nine of Cups and Ten of Swords. With the Four of Wands, we have the Five of Wands, the Chariot, and the Devil. Temperance, Eight of Coins, and last but not least, we have another Judgment card, or Justice, excuse me, Justice card. All right, Aquarius, this is where we're going to pick up in the comprehensive. So if you want to join, you are absolutely more than welcome. Thank you all so much. I truly hope you have an amazing October, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care.